I was 31 when I let a man turn my entire life into content. Not memories, not private moments we'd laugh about later, not even art, just content. Views, likes, comments, duets, stitches, algorithm bait. And for a while, for a good long while, I told myself that was modern love. That was how it worked when you dated someone whose job was being seen. I bought into it completely. Hook, line, and viral sinker. It started on a rooftop in downtown Austin, one of those sticky Texas summer nights where the air smells like barbecue and ambition. A coworker's birthday party, half networking, half escape from the grind. I do digital marketing for a mid-sized agency. Campaigns, spreadsheets, client calls at 7 a.m. that week. We just closed a brutal pitch for a skincare brand. My eyes burned from staring at analytics dashboards. I only went because Sarah from design said, "One drink. You need air." Tyler was across the rooftop, holding court by the string lights. Tall, messy dark hair, that easy grin creators practice in mirrors. He had a phone in one hand, gesturing with the other like he was mid-pitch. A small crowd laughed at whatever he said. I didn't know who he was then. Not really. Sarah nudged me. "That's Tyler Grant, TikTok guy, couple skits, 450,000 followers." She showed me his profile. Thumbnail after thumbnail of him with pretty girls, cooking fails, boyfriend versus girlfriend tropes. All staged chaos, perfectly lit. He's single now, though. Last girl got too clingy for content. I rolled my eyes. Sounds like a nightmare. But I watched him anyway. He caught my stare, held it a beat too long, then walked over. "You look like you're calculating my engagement rate," he said, sliding onto the railing next to me. "Guilty," I laughed. "I'm in marketing. It's a curse." He lit up. "No way, what agency?" I told him. He knew the clients, knew the CMO by name. Suddenly we were talking shop, hooks, retention curves, A/B tests on thumbnails. He leaned in. "Wait, you help brands go viral, and I help myself go viral. That's a power couple pitch right there." I felt my cheeks heat up. Power couple. No one had ever called me that. My life was takeout containers and Netflix queues. Power sounded electric. He pulled out his phone right there. Followed my Instagram on the spot. 20 minutes later, he snapped a selfie of us, his arm around my shoulder, city lights blurry behind. "Stories only," he said when I hesitated. "Gone in 24 hours. I smiled for the camera. That photo got 5,000 views before it vanished. We swapped numbers, texted all night. By Monday, coffee date. By Friday, dinner. By the next rooftop party, we were official. Those first months, magic. Or what I thought magic looked like through a ring light. Tyler wasn't some bedroom hobbyist. Content was his full-time gig. Sponsorships from gym brands, affiliate links in every caption. A studio corner in his apartment, softboxes, tripods, that expensive lav mic he bragged about. But he made it fun, infectious, even. Our first collab was accidental. Sunday morning. I'm chopping onions for brunch eggs. He's filming a what I eat in a day for himself. "Hey, pass the salt," he calls. I toss it. He catches it one-handed, winks at the lens. Teamwork makes the dream work. He stitched it into his video. Tagged me. Text overlay. "When she seasons better than she cooks." I laughed. Posted it to my story too. It exploded. 200,000 views overnight. Comments flooded. "Couple goals FR. This is the content we need. She's got that main character energy. Y'all are too cute. Take my money." My follower count jumped. From 1,000 to 3,000 in a week. Strangers DM'd hard eyes. Coworkers shared it in Slack. Local celeb alert. For the first time, I felt seen. Not just competent, seen. Tyler turned it into a thing. Content walks. We'd stroll Barton Springs, him testing hooks out loud. "Babe, when your girlfriend does this on a first date, or low-maintenance girls be like," I'd groan. Both sound made up. He'd laugh, kiss my temple, film it. Weekends became shoot days. Pancake fails in our underwear. Pretending to steal his fries, him stealing them back. Dancing badly to trending audio in the kitchen, arms wrapped around each other. He'd edit late into the night, speed ramp zooms, that perfect pop of text. Every post tagged power couple vibes. Every caption at my handle. My notifications became a slot machine. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. You're my secret sauce, he'd say, checking analytics over breakfast. Look, your smile in frame. Retention spikes 8%. I'd blush. Secret sauce. We built a rhythm. Weekdays, my agency job, his editing grind. Evenings, takeout and brainstorming. Fridays, date night content. One viral hit was us at a drive-in movie. Me feeding him popcorn, him missing my mouth on purpose. Laughter, real laughter. 1.2 million views. Brands noticed. His inbox filled with couple collab offers. Menswear lines wanting his and hers fits. A coffee brand pitched matching mugs. He'd read them aloud, excited. See, we're killing it. I started dreaming in metrics. Imagined guest spots on his lives. My own reels getting 10,000 likes. Power couple. It fit. Friends bought in too. My relationship goals, they text screenshots. Even my mom called. He seems sweet. And those videos adorable. To the world, we were perfect. Relatable, hot, funny. The kind of couple strangers rooted for. What I didn't see then, what no one saw, was the fine print. Tyler never said our followers. Always my reach. My brand. My retention. And those early skits, they cast me as the lovable mess. The girl who burned toast, who stole blankets, who needed saving. He was the charming fixer, always. It felt harmless, cute, even like inside jokes for a million people. One night, 3 months in, we celebrated a milestone. His main account hit 500,000. Champagne on the balcony. City twinkling below. He pulled me close. To us. To blowing up together. I clinked glasses. Together. That word hung in the air. Warm, promising. Our future unspooling like an endless feed. I went to bed happy. Woke up to his arm across me. Sunlight slanting through blinds. Perfect. If I'd peeked at his phone charging on the nightstand, if I'd seen the notifications from at Jules. In motion lighting up the screen, hey champ, congrats, can't wait for our collab, but I didn't. I scrolled our comments instead. Couple goals. Relationship goals. Power couple alert. Perfect. Little did I know, perfection has an expiration date. And Tyler was already rewriting the terms. That perfect little bubble lasted exactly 4 more months. Then the first crack appeared, small, almost invisible. The kind you tell yourself is just normal wear and tear. It happened on a random Saturday. I'd slept in late, rare for me. Work had been hell all week. A client demanded full redesigns on a campaign launch day. I crashed hard, face in pillow, drool on the case. Blissful. Tyler had other plans. I woke to that telltale hum. Ring light buzzing softly in the corner. Phone whooshing as he panned across the bedroom. Right over me. My hair stuck up like a startled cat. Pillow creases on my cheek. Laundry piles spilling out of the hamper like guilty confetti. He didn't stop filming. Just grinned wider when I blinked awake. Morning, sleepyhead, he whispered to the lens. Then normal voice to me, babe, say hi. I mumbled something incoherent. Pulled the blanket up. What are you doing? Real morning routine content, he said, still rolling. People eat this up. No filters, no makeup, you, me, unbrushed, undone. Live for strangers. He posted it that afternoon. Caption. When she says she's a low-maintenance queen, but lives like this relatable. Text overlays called out every detail. Exhibit A, the nest. Exhibit B, laundry apocalypse. Exhibit C, drool level 100. It hit 180K views by dinner. Mints rolled in hot. Bro, she's a walking red flag. Imagine waking up to that every day, low maintenance. More like zero maintenance. She's mid but pulls you. Wild friends texted screenshots. Some laughed emojis. Some, you okay with this? My boss liked it. My boss. I waited for Tyler at the kitchen island. Arms crossed. When he walked in, whistling, I held up my phone. You posted my worst morning ever, without asking. He didn't even look guilty. Set down his laptop. Babe. It's funny, real, that's what works now. He pulled up his analytics. Look, your messy hair moment, peak retention. People stayed for you. That's not the point. I heard my voice waver. I look disgusting. Everyone's ripping me apart. He stepped closer, wrapped arms around me from behind. You're overthinking. It's a character. Everyone knows that. Kiss on neck. I'll tag you properly next time. Make you look like a 10. Promise. I softened, wanted to believe him. The hug felt real. So I let it go. That became the pattern. Push a little. Post anyway. Smooth talk the fallout. Repeat. Next was the grocery wars skit. He filmed me reaching for off-brand cereal. Me. This one's cheaper and tastes better. Him zooming in dramatic. POV. You're dating a depression meal enthusiast. I laughed on camera. Laughed less when it got 300K views and comments like, poor guy settling for dollar store vibes. Then came date night fails. Me spilling wine on my dress. Real spill, he caught it mid-drop. Overlay. When her coordination matches her cooking skills. 400K views. I stopped checking comments. Work notice too. Coworkers started joking in meetings. Careful with that coffee. Don't want it to end up in Tyler's next viral. Haha, I smiled through it. But Tyler didn't stop. He escalated. Needed bigger reactions. Bigger realness. You tense up on camera now, he said one night. Loosen up. People can tell when you're performing. Irony lost on him. The real fracture hit on my birthday. 32. Not a milestone I obsessed over. But after the campaign hell week, I wanted simple. Dinner out, early bed, no fuss. Tyler insisted otherwise. Got something small but special. Trust me. I came home to cameras ready, tripod, ring lights blazing like interrogation. Phone locked and loaded. Stand here, he said, buzzing. Blindfold first. You'll love it. He spun me, led me to kitchen. Smell of cheap grocery store cake. Countdown. Blindfold off. Pink frosting cake. My name spelled Emily. 32 candles crammed tight, wax already dripping. Behind it, huge silver letter balloons on wall, leveling up from mid I froze. Brain short-circuited. Mid, not beautiful. Not gorgeous. Mid, he whooped. Phone still rolling. Babe, reaction gold. It's a joke. 32, leveling up from average, get it? I touched the letters. Cold foil. Real, my birthday. My apartment. Humiliation. Did you decorate our home? I said slow, with a giant insult for a video. His grin faltered. Not much. It's a meme. Mid is what everyone calls themselves. Relatable. You misspelled my name on the cake. Part of the bit. Comments will say he can't even spell her name. Viral. Quiet, settled, heavy, not yelling, just still. I'm not blowing those out, I said. He rolled eyes. Don't be dramatic. Serious. Cake later. This is algorithm food. I picked up his phone. Hit stop. Set it down gentle. Like handling explosive. If you post that, I said flat, I'm done. He stared. Foreign language. Over a joke. My birthday. Over you using me as punchline. On my birthday. Silence stretched. He lowered phone. Finally. I'll delete it, he said. Went too far. No post tonight. Okay. I searched his face. Wanted truth. Saw calculation. But also flicker of real sorry. So I nodded. We ate real cake later. No cameras. Almost normal. I slept uneasy. Dreamed of silver letters glowing. What I didn't know, he saved every frame, every hurt look, every plea for later. Cracks widened after that. Invisible at first, then obvious. His late grind nights increased. Content doesn't sleep, he'd say, kissing forehead. Out till 2 a.m. phone face down charging, always. I'd wake to empty side. Cold sheets. His stories, gym selfies, studio desk. No timestamps. Phone secrecy ramped up. New passcode. Brand deal paranoia, he claimed. Caught him twice, screen angled away, quick lock. Who's that? Casual. Manager stuff. Emotional distance grew. Less brainstorming. Less secret sauce talk. More not now editing. Sex changed too. Rushed, like checklist item. No more slow mornings. No more power couple whispers. I pushed back more. Tyler, the pranks hurt now, he'd sigh. You're too sensitive for content. Lighten up. One night, post-argument. Real one, no cameras. About his late nights. He stormed to studio. Left door cracked, heard murmur. Low laugh, female. Missed you too, she's asleep. Froze, heart slammed, crept closer. She thinks it's brand stuff. Yeah. Pause. Tomorrow, same spot. He hung up. I backed away silent. Mind racing. Who? What spot? Confront next day. No, too raw. Needed proof, not suspicion. Instead, played normal. Laughed at his next skit idea. kissed goodbye for grind, but inside, something shifted, not broken yet, but aware. Those cracks weren't settling. They were spreading, deepening, heading for split. And Tyler, he thought I still trusted him. Blind, perfect girlfriend. He had no idea. The girl who helped brands go viral knew exactly how stories end. The real fracture didn't come from another prank or late night. It came from betrayal so public and raw that it stripped away any remaining illusion of our perfect relationship, forcing me to confront the depth of Tyler's disregard in a way I could no longer ignore or rationalize. About 2 weeks after my birthday, when I'd started convincing myself we were patching things up, my phone suddenly erupted with notifications from our group chat, each one more ominous than the last, like a digital alarm signaling impending disaster. "Have you seen Tyler's page?" one friend wrote, followed by a string of shocked emojis. "Girl," came another message. And then, "I swear if you're okay with this, you're stronger than me than I could ever be." My stomach twisted into knots as I opened Instagram, already sensing what was waiting there. And sure enough, pinned at the top of Tyler's profile was a new reel titled, "When Your Girlfriend Turns 32 and Still Thinks She's a 10. A video that used every single frame from my birthday surprise, the blindfold coming off, my face falling as I read those silver letters spelling leveling up from mid, my quiet voice asking if he'd really decorated our apartment with an insult just for content. He'd edited it ruthlessly, adding snappy text overlays like POV. She thinks she's main character, but she's side quest energy, and normalize honest birthdays, turning my genuine hurt into a punchline for over 1.3 million views by the time I saw it. The comments section was a bloodbath of cruelty masked as humor, dissecting me like I was public property. "Bro, she's lucky to have you. She ain't that cute. Imagine thinking you're a 10 with those under eye bags. She looks like she cries over Pinterest quotes. 32 and mid as hell. That sign is facts." He tagged me prominently, of course, funneling all that vitriol straight to my notifications, where DMs poured in from strangers, laughing emojis from guys, pity messages from women saying, "This is why I'll never date a creator," and even a few marriage proposals from his fans who thought I was deserving of better. I sat there frozen on the couch, phone trembling in my hands, a wave of nausea crashing over me as the reality sank in. This wasn't a private betrayal anymore. He'd weaponized one of my most vulnerable moments and broadcast it to the world, inviting millions to mock me while he cashed in on the engagement. My breath came shallow and fast, and I called him immediately, the ringing dragging on forever until it went to voicemail, followed by a text from him. "Can't talk, shooting. If this is about the birthday vid, please chill. It's doing numbers. We'll talk tonight." That casual dismissal ignited something primal inside me, a cold, seething rage that drowned out the humiliation, making my vision tunnel as I scrolled through the video again, noting every cut, every caption he'd layered over my real pain. By the time he got home hours later, I'd mirrored his entire profile to my laptop and cast it to the TV, the frozen thumbnail of my shocked face staring back at us both as he walked through the door. "Turn it off," he said right away, avoiding my eyes while dropping his bag. "You're just making yourself mad." I didn't move, my voice emerging flat and unfamiliar. "Why would you post this after I specifically told you not to, after I said it would end us?" He sighed like I was the unreasonable one, setting up his editing laptop on the kitchen island as if this were a normal evening. "Because it's good content. Babe, do you know how many creators would kill for this kind of authenticity? People want real, unfiltered moments right now, and this is spiking my retention across the board." I stood up slowly, the room feeling too small. "You humiliated me in front of your entire audience, our friends, my coworkers. People I have to face at work are seeing this. He finally looked at me, exasperated. They know it's a joke. Everyone knows it's a joke. You're the only one taking it so personally, like it's some deep attack instead of just viral gold. The argument spiraled from there. Him accusing me of not understanding the industry, of jealousy over his success, even throwing in, "You're benefiting from the followers. Anyway, you're welcome." As if my skyrocketing notifications were a gift rather than a nightmare. I slept on the couch that night, the viral video looping in my mind, and woke up the next morning to another explosion. Some massive meme aggregator account had reposted it without permission, slapping their watermark over my face and pushing it into the multi-millions, turning my personal hell into anonymous internet fodder for even more strangers to dissect. That was the breaking point, not tears or screaming, but a chilling clarity, like flipping a switch from victim to investigator. Because if Tyler could turn my life into public spectacle, I owed it to myself to uncover whatever else he was hiding behind that content grind facade. I didn't confront him again right away. Instead, I started watching him with new eyes, noticing how he talked in his sleep about half-formed captions and names, how he took calls in the other room with the door half open as if sound didn't carry, how he angled his phone away during late-night scrolls. One evening, I caught a murmur through the cracked bedroom door. "Hold on, I gotta mute, she's here," followed by a soft laugh that wasn't his, planting the first real seed of suspicion that his community manager might be more than professional. Working in digital marketing gave me an edge. I knew patterns, archives, and where to dig without leaving traces. So I began methodically combing his public socials, starting with comments and replies that I'd previously skimmed over, quickly spotting a username that appeared obsessively. At Jules, in Motion, a fitness lifestyle creator with about 200K followers. Her interactions with Tyler always flirty, but deniably playful. "Why is she me FR? Tell your GF I'm coming for her title. If y'all ever break up, I call dibs." He replied to nearly everyone. "Jules knew you'd eat me alive. Don't tempt me. Don't expose me like that." The casual intimacy jumping out now that I was looking for it. Her profile was a goldmine of thirst traps and day in my life vlogs from Lux spots. But her stories archive revealed the smoking gun. 3 weeks before the birthday video, a boomerang of 2 wine glasses clinking over a marble countertop, I recognized instantly as ours, complete with the faint pink nail polish stain I'd scrubbed from one corner months ago, a detail too specific to be coincidence. Tyler's stories that night claimed he was on a late-night grind at the studio. No home footage at all. Digging deeper, I found another cozy night in story showing his favorite gray hoodie draped over a chair, a flash of a tattooed forearm in the background, matching his rose and compass ink perfectly. Timelines overlapping like puzzle pieces, snapping into place. The deeper I went, the uglier it got. I accessed his emails, using the password he'd shared ages ago for a brand form, assuming I'd forgotten it. Uncovering hotel confirmations for 2 local stays and 3 out-of-town ones, all weekdays labeled S for content, booked under a shell LLC called Tyler Media Collective. Attached invoices from brands I recognized from my own work showed him billing for travel and production expenses, tied to couple content deliverables, money meant for shoots featuring me that he'd clearly diverted to secret rendezvous. Cross-referencing dates with Jules's posts confirmed it. Spontaneous trip, stories from the exact same cities and weekends, matching hotel decor in her backgrounds, his absence from our apartment aligning perfectly with her solo glow-up narratives. It hit me then, sharp as shattered glass. I wasn't just the humiliated girlfriend in his videos. I was the decoy, the stable, relatable partner he paraded for brands and followers to secure deals. while he lived a parallel flirty creator life with her, monetizing my image to fund their escapes. My hands went ice cold, but my mind sharpened into focus. I created a phone album called Reality, screenshotting everything: stories, emails, invoices, tattoo glimpses, building an evidence folder that transformed shock into something weaponizable. The kind of cold rage that doesn't scream but plans. After filling my Reality folder with undeniable evidence, I deliberately allowed several days to pass before any direct confrontation, understanding that charging in with raw accusations would only provide Tyler the perfect material for another self-pitying victim narrative to post for his sympathetic followers. Instead, I weaponized silence as my initial strategy, observing him closely as he continued performing our increasingly fractured version of normalcy during morning coffee chats, where he scrolled through analytics without ever glancing up from his screen, or during evening date nights that now felt more like awkwardly scripted skits, with his phone perpetually angled just beyond my reach, as if my growing scrutiny had become physically uncomfortable for him. He sensed the change in me almost immediately, of course, since his forced laughs grew noticeably shorter, and his touches lingered far less naturally, until one tense evening, he finally snapped during a casual scrolling session when he demanded to know if I was still upset about that old video, and urged me to just let it go because it was ancient content by now. I met his gaze with calm certainty and replied that I wasn't mad at all, but rather completely done pretending our relationship was anything more than his personal reality show, where I played the supporting role he scripted on a whim. That statement landed like a quiet explosion between us, causing him to freeze mid-scroll and stare back with the practiced confusion of a content creator facing an uncooperative subject, before he muttered that I was simply too sensitive for this industry and retreated to his studio corner, as if dismissing a problematic comment thread that refused to cooperate. Our apartment transformed almost overnight into clearly drawn battle lines, with me stationed on the couch, methodically compiling even more evidence, while he busied himself posting vague, single vibes stories featuring gym mirror selfies, late-night drives through the city, and captions like "time for glow up" that subtly signaled to his audience our power couple era was fading, without him ever needing to admit any fault or take responsibility for the cracks he'd created. His followers picked up on the shift quickly, flooding the comments with speculation about whether he'd broken up with me, or if I'd finally left, which only heightened the tension simmering in our shared space as I watched his content pivot away from anything resembling couple goals toward solitary, self-focused flexing that avoided addressing the elephant in the room. 3 days after that initial standoff, the final blow-up erupted when I returned home late from a client dinner, feeling both exhausted and newly resolved, having spotted yet another incriminating story from at Jules in motion during my cab ride, a hotel lobby mirror selfie, time-stamped precisely when Tyler had claimed he was holed up editing at a studio, the background details matching the marble floors from his LLC booked reservations perfectly. Tyler lay sprawled across the couch, deeply engrossed in editing footage under the harsh glow of his ring light, barely registering my presence, until I dropped my keys onto the counter with deliberate force, the sharp metallic clink slicing through his focus music and forcing him to glance up with irritation flickering in his eyes. I announced firmly that we needed to talk and pulled out my phone to display the damning side-by-side screenshots. His innocuous grind, story claiming late night work juxtaposed against her hotel check-in from the exact same hour. The visual parallels impossible to deny at this point. He snatched the device from my hand in a flash, scrolling through the evidence with growing fury before thrusting it back at me and insisting this meant nothing at all, since Jules was merely a professional collab partner, accusing me of manufacturing drama purely because I couldn't handle his career trajectory surpassing mine without dragging me along for the ride. I remained completely steady as I laid out the facts one by one in a cold, measured tone, detailing the hotel, invoices falsely labeled as couple content, expenses, her wine glasses clinking over our recognizable kitchen countertop in archived stories, and the unmistakable flash of his signature rose and compass tattoo appearing in her backgrounds, each revelation stripping away another layer of his frantic denials, until he finally exploded. He yelled that I was actively sabotaging his hard-earned momentum out of petty jealousy, as some insignificant little marketer who would still have zero clout without the boost from his platform. His cruel words echoing the humiliating silver balloon letters from my birthday that had branded me mid in our own home. That verbal gut punch fueled a numb but hardening defiance deep inside me, and I whispered back with chilling finality that he'd made me the punchline of his content first. But now it was time for someone else to hold the camera and control the narrative for a change. He stormed out immediately after that, slamming the door with enough force to rattle the windows throughout the apartment, leaving behind a sudden suffocating silence that felt both liberating in its finality and deeply disorienting after months of shared chaos. I didn't break down crying or rush to call friends for comfort. Instead, I methodically packed a small bag with only the essentials and headed straight to Sarah's apartment, where she opened the door looking worried and pulled me onto her couch after declaring I looked like absolute hell from the ordeal. She scrolled silently through everything I showed her, the screenshots, emails, overlapping stories, and then hugged me tightly while affirming that Tyler had always been garbage at his core, asking if I was truly okay amidst the wreckage. I admitted honestly that I wasn't quite there yet, but knew I would be soon enough, then accepted her offer to borrow her laptop and dove even deeper into the rabbit hole that night, combing his public comments, where Jules liked virtually every post with heart eyes emojis, and he replied with flirty banter that now screamed intimacy. Using Wayback Archive tools, I recovered deleted stories showing them together at the same coffee shop, with his hand resting possessively on her wrist during a time he claimed was a solo meeting, while cross-checking his brand emails revealed invoices for supposed couple trips, paid for with my image in mind, but clearly spent funding her escapes instead, pushing this betrayal into outright fraud territory. By 3 a.m., my evidence folder had tripled in size, transforming what started as personal cheating into career-ending material, since brands despised being deceived about the authenticity of their sponsored creators more than anything else in the world. Sarah brought me tea around dawn and asked point blank what my plan was moving forward, to which I stared at the screen for a long moment before declaring it would be total exposure, clean, undeniable, and meticulously documented without resorting to any screaming matches that he could twist to his advantage. She nodded slowly, acknowledging it was smart, but potentially dangerous, since he would inevitably try to spin the narrative in his favor through another video. But I countered confidently that he could try all he wanted, because I understood storytelling far better than he ever would. His lasted 30 seconds of manufactured outrage, while mine would deliver unfiltered truth in full context. Morning brought a barrage of 20 missed calls and texts from Tyler begging to talk, shifting rapidly to angry accusations that I was overreacting as usual. But I blocked him across all personal accounts without hesitation, and created a burner Instagram profile filled with neutral aesthetic posts to make it appear convincingly real. I followed the major creator gossip pages immediately and sent a teaser DM with a blurred hotel invoice alongside a cropped image of his tattooed arm, captioned simply that one of their favorite wholesome couple creators was living a double life, complete with receipts if they wanted the full exclusive. They responded within minutes demanding I hold off until the story was fully ready to drop, at which point I allowed myself the first genuine smile in weeks because the power had shifted irrevocably. While he performed endlessly for likes, I was building an airtight case file with surgical precision. Back at work on Monday, coworkers whispered about still seeing remnants of the birthday video circulating, but I maintained a professional smile and assured my boss during a quick check-in that I'd handled it as a valuable learning experience, despite his concerned mention of the reel. Internally, I burned with anticipation, knowing they only saw me as the broken girlfriend for now. But soon the narrative would flip dramatically to reveal Tyler completely unmasked for what he truly was. That night in Sarah's spare room, I wrote the first draft of my long-form YouTube script in first-person truth, structuring a perfect timeline where every single claim came backed by corresponding screenshots to ensure nothing could be dismissed as mere speculation. The draft concluded powerfully with the line that he'd turned me into disposable content. But now, I was transforming him into irrefutable evidence for the world to judge. I finally slept with real depth that night, dreaming of those silver balloons for my birthday. But this time, watching them pop one by one under the weight of exposed truth. While Tyler posted a vague apology story about needing space for personal matters that already drew suspicious comments from his audience smelling fresh blood in the water. The confrontation phase had ended decisively, with no clear winners yet. But the power now rested firmly in my hands, leaving me with absolutely nothing left to lose and everything to gain from what came next. With the evidence folder now airtight and Tyler's desperate texts reduced to silence after my blocks, I transformed heartbreak into calculated strategy, understanding that random revenge would fail, while a meticulously planned exposure could dismantle his entire, carefully curated creator empire from the inside out. I began by backing up every single piece of incriminating material across multiple secure drives and cloud accounts, ensuring nothing could be lost or disputed later. Screenshots of overlapping stories, hotel invoices under his LLC, falsely claiming couple content expenses, email threads with brands expecting authentic relationship deliverables, and even bank transaction records from our shared delivery app showing late-night orders to those same hotel addresses during his supposed solo grinds. Sarah watched me work through the night with a mix of awe and concern, finally asking if I was truly ready to weaponize all this against someone she'd once seen me genuinely happy with, to which I replied that happiness built on lies deserved demolition. And this wasn't personal anymore. It was professional justice, served cold to a man who'd monetized my humiliation for profit. Next, I shifted focus to the brands themselves, leveraging my digital marketing expertise to draft emails that spoke their language of contracts, authenticity, and ROI, rather than emotional rants they could easily dismiss or ignore. Each message started professionally with my identification as the woman featured in Tyler's sponsored couple content, then laid out the timeline of deception, how he'd used my image to secure travel for couple shoots funding, while actually diverting those resources to secret trips with Jules, complete with side-by-side visuals of his wholesome posts versus her incriminating stories from identical locations and dates. I emphasized I sought no financial compensation, only transparency for their partnerships, attaching zipped folders of redacted but irrefutable proof that positioned this as an ethical breach, potentially damaging their brand reputation if left unaddressed. Knowing full well how quickly legal teams mobilized when sponsorship dollars mingled with proven fraud, the long-form YouTube script became my masterpiece of controlled narrative, written in raw first-person confession style to contrast Tyler's 30-second outrage clips, structuring 7 clear phases that mirrored our relationship's arc from power couple bliss to double life exposure without ever breaking immersion for the viewer. Every major claim paired with on-screen screenshot timestamps and blurred document inserts, starting with our rooftop meet cute and building tension through pranks escalating to the birthday video humiliation, then pivoting to discovery beats like the countertop stain and tattoo reveals that no denial could refute. I recorded a faceless test version using voiceover software, timing each section for maximum retention, slow burns for emotional setup, rapid fire evidence drops during revenge planning, and a climactic upload moment designed to hook viewers for the full hour-long reckoning Tyler never saw coming. Creator gossip amplification formed the third prong of my attack, carefully teasing those burner DMs I'd sent earlier with progressively clearer previews. A redacted invoice here, a synced timeline graphic there, building their hunger without giving away the full payload, until my video dropped simultaneously. These pages thrived on drama, but valued exclusivity, so I promised them first clips post-upload in exchange for immediate shares to their massive audiences, recognizing how their reposts would create an echo chamber, forcing Tyler's followers to confront the receipts, flooding every platform from TikTok stitches to Twitter threads. One gossip account even offered to host a live breakdown if I provided verification, which I secured by sharing a unique watermark on a non-public screenshot, turning them into unwitting allies in what would become his uncontrollable content wildfire. Financial angles sharpened the plan further as I cross-referenced his public sponsorship announcements against those LLC bookings, identifying at least 5 major deals where couple authenticity formed the core pitch, menswear lines touting real relationship style, coffee brands pushing matching mugs for morning routines with bae, all funded by expenses now provably fake. I compiled a master spreadsheet mapping deal dates to hotel stays, Jules's geotagged posts, and Tyler's absence claims, transforming vague suspicion into spreadsheet cells that screamed breach of contract to any brand lawyer glancing at the data. This wasn't just exposing cheating anymore. It was handing corporate America a smoking gun for clawbacks, terminations, and public disassociation statements that would hit his income harder than any viral backlash ever could. Personal protection came next, since Tyler's pattern of turning private pain public meant I needed armor before striking, starting with full account privacies, new email setups, and a VPN-rooted burner phone for all revenge communications to shield my real identity from his inevitable retaliation spins. Sarah helped scout a short-term sublet apartment across town, neutral and untraceable, where I could edit the final video far from our shared space's emotional ghosts, stocking it with black coffee and noise-canceling headphones for the all-nighters ahead. I even drafted contingency scripts, worst-case scenarios, where he preemptively posted a smear video or doxed details, preparing neutral responses that reframed me as the dignified truth-teller against his flailing accusations, ensuring my narrative stayed bulletproof, no matter how desperately he clawed back control. Timing emerged as the scalpel's edge, calculated down to the hour, based on Tyler's content calendar patterns I'd memorized over months. Wednesday evenings, when algorithm favored long-form drops, right before his Thursday brand call blocks, where inbox panic would maximize disruption. I'd sync the YouTube upload with brand email sends at 9 a.m. CST sharp, giving gossip pages 30 minutes to prep clips before their evening lives, creating a perfect storm where his follower notifications lit up with truth from every angle simultaneously. Practice runs timed the sequence flawlessly. Video live at T-0. Emails dispatched. Gossip DMs greenlit. My personal phone silenced in another room as the digital apocalypse unfolded without me watching in real time. Emotional rehearsal anchored the plan's humanity amid the machinery, forcing myself through mock deliveries of the script's darkest lines. He turned my birthday into a million-view punchline. To process lingering hurt before it leaked into vengeful rage on camera, I journaled reflections on what victory wouldn't fix, the scars from public mocking, the trust shattered beyond repair, but affirmed this karma served higher justice for every woman deeming similar stories, positioning my exposure as catharsis for a community Tyler's content culture had quietly wounded. Sleep became strategic too. 4-hour blocks fueled by revenge purpose, waking sharper each time as doubt calcified into diamond-hard resolve. Final polish hit Sunday night with thumbnail tests and title A/B variants. He monetized my humiliation, so I delivered his receipts versus content creators' double life exposed. The full timeline, settling on the one promising highest click through based on my marketing instincts, honed from years pushing other people's stories viral. The video file rendered at 4K for crisp screenshot legibility, exported with embedded chapters for easy navigation, and uploaded privately to schedule for Wednesday's algorithm sweet spot. Every technical detail perfected, so the story itself could breathe raw and unfiltered. I leaned back staring at the 1:08:42 runtime, heart steady for the first time since those silver balloons went up, knowing this wasn't destruction for sport, but demolition of a fraud built on someone else's pain. One last touch, the manila envelope for Tyler's eventual door-pounding rage, containing printed highlights of the worst invoices, and a single post-it reading, "Brands hate surprises. Consider this your heads up." A surgical goodbye, weaponized to linger in his mind long after the internet storm passed. Sarah toasted with cold brew at dawn. "You're not just ending him, you're rewriting creator rules." And I clinked back knowing she was right. This plan transcending personal payback into a blueprint for anyone tired of being edited into someone else's storyline. Everything locked, triggers primed, countdown ticking. Karma didn't rush, but when it arrived, it would land with the precision of a content creator's perfect hook. Except this one hooked truth. Wednesday morning arrived with surgical precision, the alarm buzzing me awake at 5:45 a.m. in my new sublet apartment, far from Tyler's reach. Every muscle wired from final rehearsals as I initiated the multi-pronged strike sequence that would detonate his double life across platforms simultaneously. I logged into the private YouTube upload first, hitting publish at exactly 6:00 a.m. CST to catch the algorithm's morning surge. Watching the unlisted video titled, "He monetized my humiliation," so I delivered his receipts, shift to public status with its 1:08:42 runtime, faceless thumbnail of blurred hotel invoices, and embedded chapters mapping our story from rooftop romance to fraud exposure. Notifications stayed silenced on my burner phone as I opened the brand email drafts tab, dispatching all 10 personalized messages at 9:00 a.m. sharp to CMOs and legal contacts I'd identified through his leaked pitches. each attachment zipped with time-stamped proofs that screamed breach without a hint of emotional excess. Then sent the greenlight DM to 3 major gossip accounts, promising them exclusive clips for immediate amplification. The first ripples hit within 20 minutes when my analytics dashboard, separate from personal accounts, showed views climbing from 0 to 500 as YouTube's recommendation engine pushed the long-form confession into related creator drama feeds. Early comments flooding with shocked realizations like, wait, is this Tyler Grant's girl? Paired with fire emojis from viewers recognizing apartment details, blurred just enough to protect me. Gossip pages pounced by 9:30 a.m. One posting a 60-second rip of the hotel invoice reveal with caption, "Wholesome couple creator caught full receipts dropping." Their story racking 200,000 views before lunch, while another went live on TikTok stitching Tyler's birthday video directly to my countertop stain-proof. The duet format forcing his 450,000 followers into side-by-side confrontation. Tyler's content calendar had him posting a scheduled gym thirst trap at 10:00 a.m. But by then comment sections underneath ignited with check the new YouTube drop. Invoices don't lie, bro. And is this why the single vibes lately? Turning his oblivious flex into unwitting collateral damage. Brands moved faster than expected when a menswear sponsor replied to my email by noon, thanking me for the critical heads up and confirming they were reviewing Tyler's active campaign deliverables immediately, while a coffee brand's legal team requested a call to discuss potential clawbacks on 3 prior couple routine payments now tainted by proven deception. Gossip amplification escalated into full chaos as one account hosted a live breakdown at 2:00 p.m., pulling 20,000 concurrent viewers through my timeline graphics, where his couple getaway posts synced perfectly with Jules's geotagged hotel stories. Chat exploding with demands for Tyler to respond, while reposts spread the watermark stitch across Twitter and Instagram Reels. My private view counter hit 10,000 by evening without promotion. Retention graphs spiking at evidence, drops exactly as scripted. Viewers sticking through the full hour because, unlike Tyler's jump cut outrage, this delivered slow burn justice, with every blurred document reinforcing the narrative he couldn't edit away. Tyler finally grasped the scale around 4:00 p.m. when his follower count began visibly sliding on social analytics sites tracking public profiles, dipping from 450,000 to 442,000 as unsubscribes cascaded from the notifications storm, now linking every wholesome couple clip back to my receipts video. He scrambled with a hasty Instagram story at 4:47 p.m. filmed in his dimmed studio corner, voice shaky as he vaguely addressed rumors and misinterpretations floating around without naming specifics, insisting off-camera life stays private, while avoiding the tattoo or invoice questions flooding viewer replies. That backfired spectacularly when Gossip Lives clipped his dodge mid-sentence next to my tattoo reveal screenshot. Comments shredding him as only sorry the brand saw, and apologized to her, not the algorithm, accelerating the bleed to 30,000 lost followers by nightfall. Jules attempted damage control simultaneously, scrubbing half her story's archive and posting a gym selfie with caption, "Staying focused amid noise." But viewers cross-referenced her deleted content against my archived proofs, unearthing more overlaps like matching coffee shop wrist grabs that she'd missed wiping, turning her silence into complicity fuel. Another brand pulled their active deal publicly by 7:00 p.m., tweeting a neutral parting ways with creator partner Tyler Grant, effective immediately. that news sites picked up within the hour, while my email inbox filled with thank yous from women's communities sharing parallel creator horror stories, validating this as bigger than personal payback. Tyler's pinned couple highlights vanished entirely overnight, leaving gaping timeline holes that only amplified suspicion. His desperate follow-up story at midnight. DM open for real talk. Love y'all. Drawing savage replies like talk to the invoices first. And where's the apology vid for fraud? By Thursday morning, the corporate fallout cascaded as 2 more sponsors issued statements distancing themselves, citing misalignment with brand values code for discovered fraud, while his management, LLC, started bouncing vendor payments, according to whispers, on creator Discord servers I'd anonymously monitored. Views on my video surged past 50,000 without ads. Algorithm favoring the drama intersection of creator exposed and couple goals fraud trending regionally, as Reddit threads dissected every timestamp I provided, upvoting my script excerpts as textbook marketing, revenge, served ice cold. Tyler attempted a full apology video at noon Thursday, dim lit in his usual spot, but stripped of music or overlays, rambling about mistakes, parasocial complications, and never intending harm, clocking only 80,000 views against his usual millions, with comments ratios at 90% brutal takedowns, demanding specifics he dodged. Friday brought the personal reckoning when pounding shook my sublet door at 8:17 p.m. Peephole revealing Tyler, disheveled and pacing, rehearsing pleas through gritted teeth, as if scripting another comeback video, even in desperation. I slid the prepared manila envelope underneath, without a word, containing printed invoice highlights, and a single post-it note reading, "Brands hate surprises. Consider this your heads up." Watching through the peephole as he ripped it open, face crumpling at the LLC letterhead, staring back unblinking. He banged twice more, yelling my name before silence fell. Then his car peeled out, confirmed later by Sarah's text screenshot of his final story, a black screen with "needed to drive." Be back, racked with laughing emojis and accountability when replies. The execution phase peaked that weekend as my video crossed 120,000 views, gossip compilations pushing it into mainstream creator downfall territory, while Tyler's profiles went radio silent. Follower count frozen at 410,000, with mass unfollows continuing hourly. Brands issued a 5th termination notice Monday morning. Coffee sponsors legal team confirming they'd recovered partial funds via clawback clause I'd highlighted in my email, positioning my anonymous drop as industry catnip for authenticity watchdogs. Jules deactivated twice before reactivating with a tearful live admitting poor choices, but blaming Tyler fully, which only fed more traffic back to my timeline, where viewers rewarded unemotional precision over crocodile tears. Echoes lingered through the week, with Tyler's deleted content resurfacing on aggregator accounts. Birthday video, now prefaced by context. He defrauded brands for this, flipping laughs to cringe, as millions revisited my original humiliation through fraud lens. My sublet became sanctuary amid buzzing burner DMs from journalists seeking quotes I ignored, focusing instead on work promotions, ironically boosted by agency whispers of my digital savvy. Without connecting dots to the storm. Execution complete. His empire didn't crumble overnight, but fractured irreparably. Deals dried up. Collabs ghosted. Audience trust evaporated, proving karma's timeline perfect when planned with receipts, not rage. In the weeks following the perfectly timed execution of my exposure plan, Tyler's once thriving creator career didn't vanish overnight, but fractured into something unrecognizable, with his follower count stabilizing at a hollowed out 380,000 after weeks of steady bleeding. every notification now a reminder of the receipts that had turned his wholesome image into a cautionary tale across platforms. Brands enforced the clawbacks I'd flagged in my emails, publicly severing ties through terse statements about value misalignment that industry insiders read as code for fraud, while his LLC invoices bounced and collab DMs went unread, forcing him to pivot desperately to low-effort gym motivation clips that barely scraped 10,000 views each. Jules fared little better. Her teary accountability lived drawing pity views, but losing half her fitness sponsorships as followers uncovered her role in the hotel timeline. Their couple mirroring each other into irrelevance, while my anonymous YouTube video quietly surpassed 200,000 views, algorithmically rewarded for delivering unfiltered truth in an era starved for it. I watched this unraveling from my sublet sanctuary with clinical detachment at first, checking public analytics trackers each morning over black coffee, noting how his birthday video resurfaced endlessly on aggregator accounts, but now carried captions like context. He defrauded brands to fund cheating for this cringe, flipping original mocking laughs into collective cringe that validated every sleepless night I'd invested in the plan. Coworkers at the agency never connected me to the storm, but whispered admiringly about that marketing-level takedown circulating, even landing me a quiet promotion for strategic thinking on campaigns, while friends like Sarah celebrated with takeout toasts to the woman who'd rewritten her own narrative from humiliated punchline to invisible architect of justice. Personal life healed unevenly. I deleted dating apps entirely, savoring solo rooftop sunsets that echoed our first meet cute, but now felt empowering rather than haunted, journaling nightly about scars like the public vitriol still stinging during weak moments. Tyler's final desperation peaked one rainy Thursday when he uploaded a rambling 40-minute transparency video from a rented studio space, claiming victimhood to parasocial manipulation and miscommunications amplified by haters, dodging every invoice question while blaming me indirectly as the ex who couldn't handle growth. Viewers shredded it immediately in real-time comments. Where's the apology to the brands you scammed? And receipts, excuses, log off, capping at 60,000 views before he privated it hours later. Follower dip, accelerating to 350,000 as even loyal stans jumped ship for fresher drama. Gossip pages milked the flop for days, stitching his dodge clips against my timeline graphics until Reddit megathreads crowned the saga, the receipts reckoning, cementing Tyler not as a wronged creator, but the poster boy for authenticity's brutal cost when built on sand. My own digital footprint shrank deliberately after victory, privating lingering couple-era posts and redirecting notifications to a single spam folder I rarely checked, reclaiming privacy as the ultimate flex against a man who turned every moment into monetized content without consent. Work promotions brought stability, a lead strategist role with flexible hours, while therapy unpacked the betrayal layers, revealing how his power couple script had masked deeper insecurities I'd carried long before the silver balloons went up. New routines grounded me. Early yoga flows, weekend hikes sans phone, coffee dates, with Sarah plotting Faceless channel ideas of my own, each step weaving hurt into wisdom without bitterness. Occasionally, old clips bubbled up through friends. Saw your ex's downfall compilation again lol. And I'd watch briefly, not for schadenfreude, but closure, noting how comments now read, he really thought he was main character energy, beneath thumbnails of his pacing apology figure. A poetic flip from mocking my mid-birthday reaction to dissecting his fraud-fueled empire. Jules attempted rebrands twice, first as solo queen, then Real Talk Fitness, but overlapping geotags doomed both, her final live admitting, "I enabled lies for clout," before deactivating fully, leaving Tyler's mentions haunted by her ghosted accountability. His content sputtered to generic motivation quotes over stock gym footage, sponsorships reduced to shady supplement links that screamed desperation to industry watchers. Financially, the karma landed hardest when court filings leaked showing 2 brands suing his LLC for misrepresentation. Clawback amounts publicized in trade articles that buried any comeback hopes under legal fees he couldn't cover without selling gear. I received anonymous thank you DMs from women sharing parallel stories. Your timeline gave me courage to leave my influencer ex, transforming personal revenge into quiet activism. Each message a reminder that exposing one fraud rippled protection for countless others, navigating content culture's dark underbelly. Sleep came full now. Nightmares of silver letters replaced by dreams of unscripted freedom. My reflection in mirrors showing eyes clear of that haunted doubt Tyler had filmed so profitably. No regrets surfaced when I tallied the aftermath, not for the video upload, brand emails, or door drop envelope that shattered his denial. Each action reclaimed agency from a man who'd edited me into perpetual punchline status for strangers' amusement, and his analytic spikes. Bittersweet tinged the victory, knowing healthier love existed beyond screens. But zero hesitation marked the choice to mirror his public weapon back at him, proving when someone builds happiness on your heartbreak, they forfeit silence as mercy. I trade the scars for this healed version of myself every time. The one who spots ring light users from across rooms, trusts gut over smooth talk apologies, and knows her story's worth telling on her terms alone. These days I post sparingly on private accounts, sharing sunrise hikes or coffee foam art without tags or tripods, cherishing unmonetized moments that breathe real instead of performing for algorithms hungry for manufactured mess. Friends ask if I date another creator. I laugh and say only if they film with people, not at them, scanning new connections for that subtle phone angle giveaway Tyler never hid once you learned the tells. Work thrives too, pitching authenticity campaigns that ironically fund my quiet life. Each client nod a subtle win over the fraud I'd unmasked in real time. Looking back across the full arc, from rooftop sparks to courtroom echoes, I see karma not as cosmic payback, but engineered consequence, receipts, as the great equalizer when content kings treat partners like disposable B-roll in their main character arc. He humiliated me publicly for views, turning birthday pain into million-view punchlines while secretly funding double lives on brand time. But exposure flipped the lens irreversibly, leaving him edited out of relevance while I stepped off script into unfiltered peace. No fairy tale ending, just hard-won truth. You can't polish fraud forever before the zoom hits secrets too close for soft focus. What would you have done in my place? Walked away quietly or served the receipts with interest? Do you think dismantling his career crossed into too far? Or did his public betrayal earn every invoice drop? Have you ever had someone turn your real life into their content without consent? Drop your letter to karma in the comments below, because your story might be the next one we read on Karma's letterbox.